What's going on, guys? Jeff here with Lift to Thrive. Today we're going to be going over a lower body mobility routine. Starting with the calves, we're going to be starting on the outside and then moving on to the inside, rolling for about 1.5 up to 2 minutes total, and really just searching for any extra tight spots and spending a little bit more time there and giving it a little more attention. Immediately after finishing the foam rolling, you're going to move into a dorsiflexion stretch on the same side. What you're going to be focusing on here is driving the knee as far forward as you can while keeping that heel down, getting the butt as close to the heel as you can and knee as far forward as you can. You could pull your chest towards your knee to add a little extra weight and really drive that knee down. Then move on to the other side, foam roll, and then dorsiflexion stretch. About 1.5 foam rolling, 1 to 2 minutes stretching. Then we're going to move on to the hips, foam rolling the piriformis, glutes, and searching for any tight spots along the way. Again, spending about 1.5 up to 2 minutes here, and just navigating the area, searching for those tight spots. Immediately moving into the pigeon pose, where you're going to be stretching those muscles that you just rolled out, and again, searching for any extra tight spots, spending any time there, and collecting about a total of 1 to 2 minutes here, depending on time available. Then transition into foam rolling the other hip and stretching that as well. Again, sinking into that hip and navigating around, searching around for different tight spots. From there, we're going to move on to the quads and the hip flexors, rolling all the way to right above the knee and to the highest point in the hip. Getting everything along the way, focusing on one leg at a time. After rolling for about 1.5 you're going to do a little bit of quad flossing here, where you keep the pressure right above the knee, but on the muscle, and just flex that knee back and forth. After that, immediately go into hip flexor quad stretch right here. You can do this on a couch, a bench, or a box, any of your choosing. Here you're going to focus on tucking the hip underneath you, squeezing the glutes, and keeping that stretch the entire time. From there, we're going to move on to the hamstring, rolling all the way to right above the knee, all the way to the hip. Moving on to a little bit of a hamstring stretch here, focusing on keeping that back flat and just feeling the stretch in the hamstrings. Doesn't matter how far the hands go, just stretching those hamstrings as much as you can. Then we're going to move on to the upper back and get a little bit of thoracic extension mobility here. Rolling right around to the mid-back all the way up to the traps, and then sticking your arms overhead and just going back and forth, searching for any extra tight spots. From there, we're just going to leave the foam roller underneath, find a comfortable position, and just sit there for about 1.5 minutes, really just opening up the thoracic extension, allowing you to get into better positions when you get back to doing some resistance training or any other movements. Next, we're going to be going into the adductor, so rolling on the inside of the thighs, rolling all the way to right above the knee, all the way to the top of the hip, and just rolling back and forth. Same kind of principles applying, about 1.5 up to 2 minutes, just searching for any extra tight spots and sinking into those for a little bit longer a time. Going into adductor stretch here, just sinking into those adductors, stretching for about 1.5 minutes. After that, we're going to go into one of my favorite running pre and post mobility movements, which is just rolling out the tibialis anterior, which is the front muscle of the shin. And this is going to be a muscle that gets extremely tight after doing any type of running, especially more running than you're used to. And this can help prevent any sort of shin splints or pain derived from that. So rolling out the tibialis anterior front of the shin here, about 1.5 to 2 minutes, and then going into a little bit of a stretch that puts your ankle into plantar flexion, really just stretching the front of the shin here. You can do this against a wall as well, gives you a little bit more support. And then lastly, bringing everything together here, all the movements that we just did, mobilizing, loosening up, we're going to sink into the bottom of a squat, extend the knees, allow the lower back and upper back to curl a little bit, hamstring stretch, go back down, and you can just get in and out of here as many times as you want, really. And then we're going to go into a little bit of trunk mobility, get a little bit of rotation there, back up, back down, reach across, open up, reach across, open up. Just taking your time here, back and forth. You can do this for about a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes, really whatever feels comfortable. So that's it for today, guys. A great mobility routine to do before or after a hard training session. I hope you thought this was helpful and informative, and if you did, please feel free to like the video and subscribe below for some new videos coming next. Have a good one, guys, and keep crushing it.